Welcome aboard Tristan and Tommy's Runaway Railway. For your safety, please remain seated and enjoy the show. Welcome to Please Remain Seated, a theme park podcast hosted by two theme park enthusiasts that work for the industry in Central Florida. In our show, we discuss theme park news, reviews, other theme park discussions, that type of thing. In today's show, we're going to discuss the popcorn bucket frenzy over at Epcot, some new opening dates or rides that were announced. Six Flags will be updating their memberships this year. I'm going to finally do a Six Flags Fiesta Texas review. And Tristan and I are going to discuss our top 10 coasters. We each made a top 10 list. We're going to do a nice little compare and contrast. He also has some nice theme park tristery today as well. Tristan, how you doing?
Those popcorn buckets, man. Don't even talk about me. Those popcorn buckets, stupid. If you bought one of those, jump into the World Showcase Lagoon.
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with people buying them. It's just the fact that people waited 7 hours.
Why?
For a popcorn bucket of Figment.
I don't even like Figment, to be honest, so I really don't get it.
Like, it's so weird to me. Like, I feel like there's been a general discussion of why were people waiting 7 hours, but there were enough people waiting 7 hours for a popcorn bucket and selling them for hundreds of dollars on eBay that people were actually bidding for.
I heard that people were buying them and then walking down the line of people and selling them like marked up. So the people, didn't have to wait as long.
I feel like that's got to be not allowed.
Yeah, it can't be.
Like there was that like purple hair lady pass holder that Disney like finally banned. That should have been one of our stories whenever that happened, but
yeah, that's a creature. That's a creature of the park.
That was yeah, that is. We don't have one this week, but that would be it. Yeah. Speaking of purple hair lady, purple Figment. Yeah. I mean, and low key after this, I'm actually going to Epcot next week, and if they're back and it's less than 30 minutes, I might have to get one for the meme. I really hate Disney merch culture. I love Disney. I'm huge. We love the parks here, obviously. But just like the merchandising culture between that, like some of the fights that were happening on October 1st, it just like, it's absurd.
Yeah, just stay out. Just stay out, everybody.
Yeah. Just don't buy stuff. Just buy food and go on rides.
No, stay out.
Or just stay out. Yeah, that too.
That's what I say.
You're just saying stay out.
Yeah. Here we have a theme park podcast where we celebrate theme parks, and here we are telling everyone
to stay away from them.
Stay away.
Just from the stores for me. But Tristan's saying just stay away in general.
Gatorland's fine. Go to Gatorland.
Yeah. Gatorland, Jesus. Oh, okay. I've actually never been there.
I've been there once.
It's a fun time.
It's pretty fun. You better know what you're getting into when you go.
Yeah.
But
no, I've heard some things about Gatorland.
Yeah. That's all you need to say. But
that's all I got to say.
Let's hop in. What do we got?
All right.
Other than Figment, that was our first thing. I guess we knocked that out unless you have anything more to add.
No, we don't. Figment. So fun opening dates that were announced from the Seas Corporation. Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando is opening next month on February 18th. They are holding pass holder previews right now, I think, but in order to qualify for them, you had to visit the park 3 times in between September and December, which I did not do. But for the one that I have been waiting for at Busch Gardens Tampa, Iron Gwazi, finally have the official date of March 11th. And I do qualify for some of their pass holder previews. They do have an event where if you visited the park 3 times in between September and December, you get to be one of the first people. But then they also have pass holder previews for like a month before it officially opens. And I already have the date that I'm going, and I cannot wait to do my ride review for that. Like, I don't know. I've had to have mentioned that ride at least a few times on this podcast, and I tell it to everybody I talk to because I don't care about anything else.
Yes.
So, yeah. Yes, Tristan.
Yes.
You ready for Iron Gwazi, Tristan?
I've heard you talk about it a lot, and I watched Tim Tracker on YouTube. You're probably aware of Tim Tracker on YouTube, and he has even been talking about it for quite a while. So I've heard all about it. It looks awesome. I've never
Yeah.
been to that park, but I can't wait to go.
Yeah, no. I've actually only been to the park once, and that was this past September. Like I got my season pass for SeaWorld and Busch Gardens almost a year ago. But I've only been to Busch Gardens once. Really fun park. We did the review a couple episodes of it, me and my girlfriend when I went with her. Um, but Iron Gwazi is, RMC hybrid type of coaster, so I know it's going to be like in my top five. I was thinking about how we're doing our top 10 this episode. Like Iron Gwazi would have fallen in there somewhere probably, but anyways, another opening date that was announced by SeaWorld San Diego opening Emperor on March 12th. It'll be a nice B&M dive coaster for the park, so similar to Shikra, Griffin, Valraven, that type of ride opening. I think it's going to be the first dive coaster in California too. Like they don't really have any of those types of coasters on the West Coast, so good for them for finally getting one. And of course, you got Six Flags Fiesta Texas opening one next year as well. So just more of those getting bought still. So good for B&M and other parks, I guess.
I have a question.
Yes.
RMC stands for Rocky Mountain Construction.
Yes.
Okay, so are there theme parks in the Rocky Mountains?
Rocky. I'm trying to think. Where's the? I saw the documentary and I totally forget where they're based out of already. Um, I know that they started off sort of just helping retrack other rides and that type of thing before they really blew up in the last decade for, kind of redesigning rides and then making their own.
Huh.
But yeah.
Sound like posers to me.
Yeah.
Maybe. I formally request that the CEO resign.
I'm pretty sure they just got a new CEO. So I think
makes
your
sense.
wish. Yeah.
Anyway,
Fantastic.
that's it. That's all I got.
Right.
Move on.
Okay. So there's going to be an update to Six Flags memberships and season passes next year. So before 2022, I'm pretty sure like you can pretty much get universal like season passes and memberships that go across all Six Flags parks. But now the parks in California and Texas are going to have a different membership program that also might be a little bit more like they have different tiers for it. They have, hold on, let me pull it up here. So they have a Thrill Seekers Pass, an Extreme Pass, and an Ultimate Pass. They're going to be more expensive at Magic Mountain and then slightly cheaper at the other parks that are going to be in California and Texas. So like the cheapest one is $115, then $180, and then $330 at Magic Mountain. At the other parks, it'll be 80, 170, and 300.
Oh.
But then when I went up to Over Georgia's website, they still have the old membership system, it looks like. So I guess this might be just a way for Six Flags to make more money. Speaking of which, it looks like Magic Mountain might be looking into a similar thing that Disney did this year with the individual attraction selections. Because Six Flags, I guess, already had their paid fast pass type of system that they already had, but I think Magic Mountain is now considering pulling a Disney. So Disney really influencing other parks now, which I'm sure everyone is very happy about. In that fashion, at least.
No comment. We already talked about that. No comment.
Yeah, no comment. I don't know what one-day ticket prices were at Magic Mountain before, but they're now posting as $50 for one-day ticket. And over Georgia, it's now as low as $40. So prices are going up there, which I'm hoping it will lead to improvements at their parks, which I think that's kind of the direction they have been going in. Because I feel like Six Flags is like sort of known for not being good quality with certain things. So maybe they're trying to do better by making more money. Hopefully that's why they're charging more so they can make more improvements. We'll just see as the years go on, I guess. Because it used to be like $30 for a day ticket. And now, the prices are just going up everywhere. I think that's just everywhere all the time. Tristan's just shaking his head.
Yeah, for our listeners, I shook my head for a long time.
Yeah. That's all Tristan has to say about that. So If you had an old Six Flags membership, I think you're going to be grandfathered in still, but if you don't have one, sucks. So I should have invested in that last year, but that's okay.
We need a Six Flags in Florida.
We,
Said no one ever, but
yeah,
really, come on. I mean, you have like Fun Spot, which is
yeah,
what, one step above a carnival, and
yeah,
then you have
yeah. For some
basically.
reason, Fun Spot Atlanta is getting one of the best roller coasters
I
this year.
know. I looked up.
Yeah,
If you actually go on our Instagram, I posted a picture of Fun Spot Atlanta,
yeah,
and it looks like a fun spot. I don't
yeah,
know. Like it's gonna look so funny being like,
yeah.
a fun spot with this gigantic, awesome roller coaster. Like,
Yeah, it's like they're gonna get like a relatively good crowd from the coaster community. They're gonna get a bunch. They're gonna get a bunch of idiots like me. Tristan writing down the time so he can. And anyway, uh, like this fun spot's gonna get a bunch of theme park enthusiasts like me just traveling to this random carnival for this one ride.
yes. No, but it's funny. It was funny to look at because like fun spots are not the nicest,
No, they're not.
relatively small,
Yeah,
and it's gonna have this awesome roller coaster. So
it really is.
yeah, yes.
Um, and then we have one other final news piece. It isn't theme park related, but it is Disney related. So if you guys have seen Encanto, the song "We Don't Talk About Bruno" is now Disney's highest. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know, grossing,
Highest charting, yeah,
charted.
grossing or charting animated song, beating "Let It Go" from Frozen. So "Let It Go" has finally been topped by "We Don't Talk About Bruno."
Wow.
So congrats to that.
You know what my
Tristan,
theory is? Here's my
what?
theory. So Frozen, I think Let It Go from Frozen got huge because kids loved it,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
That's what I think it was. I
yeah.
think We Don't Talk About Bruno only got huge because it's probably used in a bunch of TikToks and stuff, like, people age 16 to 25 or whatever who use TikTok. I think, because, and that's how it works too. When when the audio and
Possibly.
TikTok goes around, it gets huge.
Yeah. No,
Half the
that
music
is
my girlfriend
true.
listens to is from TikTok.
I don't I'm sure there probably was some "We Don't Talk About Bruno" TikToks that I somehow haven't come across. Um I feel like I don't always get all the trends on my feed. I just get really weird humor on mine.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah,
but anyway, um like congrats to Encanto. Have you seen it?
I have seen it. I liked
Yeah,
it. I
I
don't think
I
it
really
compares
liked
to
it too. And
Frozen.
huh?
I don't think it compares to Frozen though. That's what
Yeah,
I think
no.
it's odd that
Different.
it beat it, but that's
Yeah,
just me.
me too. Out of that, and then also like it is a good song. It's not even my favorite from the movie though. Like my favorite is the La Famille Madrigal and
Oh yeah.
the Surface Pressure. I love that song.
Hmm.
Um, but congrats to that. I feel like Encanto is a movie that gets better the more I watch it. Like I've only seen it twice, and it was definitely better the second time because there's like little details that's like, oh, and I feel like it's one of those movies that the more you watch it, the more you like find finer details that they've done, which is really cool. But speaking of us being a theme park podcast, Casita is a trackless dark ride. Like that, like there can be such a cool trackless dark ride theme to that house.
Mm.
Like
Yes.
Disney needs to get on that.
They could just repurpose Rise of the Resistance.
Oh, please. That would be great. Or add a Columbia Pavilion at Epcot
Hmm.
and just make the entire thing in Kanto. Have Casita as a trackless dark ride and an expensive character dining, like with like a practical effects in Casita while you're eating and whatever. I don't know how well that would work, but it would be awesome and people would love it. So,
While we're on this topic, and this is
mhm.
actually something I was going to segue into, I love Emperor's New Groove,
Yeah.
and my podcast notebook is Emperor's New Groove. I have
Oh, I
David
love that.
Spade's autograph right here.
Yeah.
I just got a few weeks ago. Have you seen Emperor's New Groove, Tommy?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so towards the end they eat at Mudka's Mud Hut, where they eat those
Yeah.
weird
Oh,
bug things.
yeah.
Why have they not made a Mudka's Mud Hut restaurant yet?
Wow.
Come
You
on.
know, feel like this could be a whole other theme park discussion of just ideas that we have that we need to. Yeah,
Oh,
if you guys have any theme park ideas that you would like to share with us that we can share on a future episode, let us know. We might have a further discussion about this about
Mudka's
whether
Mud Hut.
Mud Hut.
Mudka's Mud Hut.
Fantastic. All right, Mud Hut.
Mudka's Mud. And then like Kronk, like Chef Kronk,
Yeah.
is like a meet and greet. It's
That,
like character
oh
dining.
god, that'd
Come
be
on.
great.
All right, move on. Next.
Move on. Move on next. So that's actually all the news we have. The only other thing that I maybe kind of wanted to share was if you've ever been to the Polynesian or Boma, you might know their pog juice. I learned how to make it. It's very, very easy. Depending on the size of a pitcher you have, 3 cups of passion fruit juice, 3 cups of guava juice, and 1.5 cups of orange juice. That's it. It's very
Dang.
simple, and you get it's like you're at the Poly.
Man, oh man.
I've been making it a lot, and it's made my life a lot better. That is all.
Dude, you said Boma. Big mistake. I just had Boma dinner for the first time a few weeks back.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Good. Good
Yeah.
stuff. All right. Are we? Do you have a little review to do here?
Yeah, I do have a little review. I'm gonna do a little baby review of Six Flags Fiesta Texas. So, I visited that park a few months ago back in May. I went like in the middle of the week in May, and I had a really fantastic experience for my first time at this park. Um, Compared to other Six Flags parks, it's a really pretty park. Like you wouldn't expect it to be a Six Flags. Like it's still a Six Flags, but like there's like a really beautiful quarry wall when you come in, and then like in the park itself, there's also rides that go off of it and along it, and it just makes for a really pretty setting. They have a lot of really fun roller coasters there. Iron Rattler was probably my favorite one. That's an RMC hybrid, so obviously. And fun fact about that one, it was the first hybrid with an inversion on it. So that one really paved the way for future hybrids that would be made. So thank you that. They also have the very first RMC single rail Raptor model, Wonder Woman Golden Lasso, which was really like it's such a cool ride. So the way that it is, like the track is a single rail, and the trains are just one behind the other, so you don't have anybody next to you. So you kind of have a lot more freedom in your seat, and like it's sort of like a compact type of ride, but it's like really whippy, and like the inversions on it are really nice. Like it really does feel like you're a lasso, like you are Wonder Woman's lasso. The way it just whips you, it's great. They also have a
There's
nice.
there's
What
an
was that?
inappropriate joke in there somewhere, but family friendly
There
show.
is an inappropriate joke there. But we're a family show, Tristan. In case
Yeah.
you didn't forget,
I did
how would
not
we?
forget.
Yeah, yeah. How could you yeah, who would forget that?
Not me.
um, they also have a fun SNS free spin coaster, so where like your seats are just rotating crazily, and that type of ride is only made like only certain people. Like it's not for everyone. I really enjoyed it, but it's definitely not a ride that I could marathon like Iron Rattler. Um, but quickie review: if you're in Texas, you want to do a fun theme park road trip, Fiesta Texas is a really good park to visit. Um, I don't know if I would recommend it to like everyone. Like it's not like a really incredible destination like your Disney Universal parks. But for like if you're a theme park enthusiast at all, I highly recommend checking out Fiesta Texas. The only thing that I can't really touch up too much on is their food. I'm pretty sure they just have theme park food there. The only thing I had there was I ordered a pizza. I actually like kind of made friends that day. Um, I was meeting up with one of my friends that I met in Florida, but while I was waiting for that person, a group was like, "Hey, you're by yourself. You want to hang out with us?" And then I hung out with them for the day, and I just bought us all a pizza, and very whatever pizza. Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah,
Great.
that,
Well,
that is
hey,
all. Oh,
I got something to
uh,
add to that.
yeah,
Shut up. Shizzy. The reason Six Flags Fiesta Texas is so beautiful
yeah,
is because it was like any other Six Flags park. It wasn't built by Six Flags. It was bought by them
that's right.
later. It was built by the Gaylord Entertainment Company. So if you've ever been to a Gaylord hotel, it's like the
Mhm.
giant. It looks like a giant glass
Yeah.
building with beautiful atriums. Here in Florida, we have a Gaylord
Yeah.
Palms, which is really nice. They do cool stuff for Christmas. That's why
Yeah, because
I've stayed at 2 Gaylords. They are amazing.
yeah, it was Fiesta Texas was originally supposed to be like a music festival place. So like they actually have like a really good concert stage like in the very like middle of their park that's like kind of in a backstage area when it's not used. Speaking of which, they actually had really good entertainment while I was there as well. So like if you go there and there's like a show going on, go see it. Like the music and dancers that they have are excellent. My friend's sister was in the bands that played the music. So yeah,
The band that played the music.
the band that played the music.
Oh.
Yes, I clearly took notes before I wrote this. Um, yeah, this is the one review where I'm clearly winging it. The other ones actually had stuff written down, but this one I'm like, I visited back in May and I've been talking about it. So I need to give them the shout out.
Oh, we like it. We like it. But
Yeah,
we have a bigger review coming in
yeah,
now.
we do.
This is a big one. All right. This is
Yeah,
a big one.
this is a big one.
All right.
Oh yeah,
It's our top 10 favorite roller coasters.
oh yeah.
Oh my
It's our top-
golly.
Yeah,
Now,
this is a big one.
I think I should we go every other, like me do one, you do one, or should I go first then you go first, because yours are going to be more interesting than mine. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do you do one, I do one, you do one, etc.
10-4. I'll go first then.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to start at number 10.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Slinky Dog Dash.
Slinky Dog. Ooh, I like
Now-
that one.
Now, here's why I say that, because I don't think
Yeah.
that would get on a lot of coaster nerds' list.
Yeah.
I only really ride Florida coasters. I've been to one Six Flags. I've been to Cedar Point. And I didn't really know anything. I didn't ride that many
Yeah.
coasters when I was at Cedar Point, to be honest. So,
How long ago did you go to Cedar Point?
we're coming up on 9 years.
Okay, so it's been a while. So Steel
Yeah.
Vengeance wasn't even there. So
No, because you said
or
Steel
even
Vengeance.
Valraven or maybe Gatekeeper. Was Gatekeeper there?
Gatekeeper was brand new.
Okay.
But Steel Vengeance replaced Mean Streak, right?
Yeah.
I rode Mean Streak. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But okay, so yeah, Slinky Dog Dash. I love the theming in Toy Story Land.
Yeah.
It's got some decent thrill.
Yeah.
Really
No,
cool at
it's-
night.
Yeah, no, I feel like Slinky Dog Dash is more thrilling than it looks. Like
Mhm.
it looks like a kiddie coaster, but like it does pack a little bit more of a punch than you'd expect.
I dig it.
Yeah. And then I agree, the night rides on it are really fun.
What do you got?
All right, my number 10 is actually one we just said, Gatekeeper at Cedar Point, B&M wing coaster. So the seats are on the outside of the train, so hanging off the side of it. So depending on which side you're sitting on, you actually get a different experience. And I recommend sitting on the lake side. If you get to the merge point, ask for the lake side. And I think that side is better. The way that it goes through the inversions, I think, is better. And its first drop is sort of like a dive loop. And when you're on the lake side, it sort of picks you up higher into that drop. So lakeside in the back row, incredible ride. Very, very fun.
All right, here we go. My number 9 was almost tied with Slinky Dog Dash. It's the
Mhm.
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Nice.
Because I think it's very, very similar on a thrill level. I think it's a little more thrilling than
Really?
Slinky Dog, in my opinion. Yeah, I think the drop, like the drop where they take your picture, I think that's more thrilling than Slinky, in my opinion.
I
but-
think I'm thinking more Slinky Dog is longer.
Oh yeah, I think it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I've always really liked Snow White, and because I think I watched that as a kid, it's got like nostalgia for me. So going
It's honestly
through
my
the
favorite
mine,
classic Disney movie.
Same here.
Like
So-
it's up there in general as one of my favorite Disney movies.
So that's really why it beat Slinky Dog. But that's my number 9.
Cool. All right, my number 9 is Goliath at Six Flags Over Georgia. Almost every Six Flags park has a ride called Goliath. The Goliath at Over Georgia is a B&M hyper coaster, so similar to Mako here, Apollo's Chariot at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. So it's that type of ride. Goliath in particular, in relation to Six Flags Over Georgia, it really like towers over the entire park. And from the top of the chain lift, you can like see the Atlanta city skyline like once you're at the top. And just the setting and the airtime hills on this ride, it's such a fun layout and really, really cool coaster. So, I mean, if you find yourself in Atlanta, like Goliath is fun. It's very fun.
My number 8 is actually 2 that are tied. So technically I have
Oh.
11 coasters on this list.
That's okay. If you want, yeah.
These are the only two Six Flags coasters on my list because I've only ever gone to Six Flags Great America in Illinois,
Mhm.
and these two coasters are ones that I've ridden throughout my whole life:
Mhm.
American Eagle and Raging Bull. Um,
Nice.
both have around 200-foot drop or something like
Okay.
that, if I remember correctly. Um, and yeah, those scare the crap out of me.
Love that.
Those big drops because it's like you start
Yeah.
dropping and then you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm still dropping. So,
'Cause that's about how tall Goliath was too.
okay, yeah,
Which actually, side note about my experience on one of my rides on Goliath, there was like a teenage, maybe preteen girl, like just a row or two behind me, just like screaming and crying before we even left the station. And like, it's kind of funny, but I also sort of feel bad because it's like not everyone is a psycho like me and can just marathon this. Like not everyone's a coaster enthusiast that can just ride these things like like it's nothing, where others will look at that and like actually be terrified. So it's a nice little anyway. So your number 8, Raging Bull, and
American
what was the
Eagle.
American Eagle?
Yep.
All right. My number 8 was Iron Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Had a 170 something foot drop, and the drop itself is really, really fun, that first drop. And then just the layout itself is super smooth, lots of airtime, relatively quick. I almost put Goliath above this, but just something about just the craziness of RMC coasters that I really love is why I put it above. And then plus the quarry wall drop, like honestly, like these two could have been tied for me if anything, but I give Iron Rattler just a slight edge.
Okay. Number
All
7
right,
for Tristan.
number 7 for
Going
Tristan.
over to Universal.
Ooh,
Hulk.
Hulk. Ooh,
Hulk. Now let me tell you about Hulk. It's scary because the last two times I've ridden it, you launch out of that
yes,
tunnel going up, and then you're just blinded by sunlight.
yeah,
My vision has
yeah.
actually gone in and out the last two times I've ridden it. Like my eyes will be wide open, I can't see a thing. Isn't that scary?
No, I know what you mean.
I hate it. Number
That is
7.
my number 7 as well.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, I'm not even. Yeah,
Wow.
Incredible Hulk coaster is my number 7.
Crazy. We did not compare this list
No,
before
we did
right
not.
now.
We didn't talk about this beforehand. So this is that's really fun. That I like that we had that.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that I love that lift out of the tunnel because like at first when you're leaving the station, it's kind of slow and then just like dun dun, and then it just launches you like there's a Hulk roar, then it launches you into that zero G roll.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Fun fact: there was a day where I was able to marathon it, and in my marathoning, I discovered that if you sit on the far right side of the train, you get more whiplash on that side. So if you're the first person going onto your row in a party of 4, you're gonna get more whiplash because I feel like from that side it whips you all the way across like most of the inversions. Where if you're in the center on the other side, you're a little bit more central. But I mean, really forceful ride, and just the theming and onboard music, I absolutely love. Like honestly, the onboard music is why I have it rated so highly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's such a cool ride.
Mm-hmm.
And also when I was younger, um, so I didn't get into roller coasters until I was a teenager, really. Like I think I always liked them, but like I didn't actually do them because everyone else in my family was scared of them. And I remember one time when we were at Universal when I was like 9 years old, like I was still kind of scared, but I'm like, oh, I kind of want to try it. My dad's like, no. So when I finally moved to Florida, got a Universal pass. That was one of the first rides I did. Finally conquered that thing, so it has sentimental value to me as well. But anyway, Incredible Hulk, incredible coaster.
Mm, incredible Tommy. Uh, number
Amazing,
6,
Tristan.
stepping away from Universal, but don't worry, we'll be back. Going over to the Magic Kingdom, Big
Ooh,
Thunder Mountain Railroad, just a classic, a classic mountain, classic roller coaster. Not the most thrilling necessarily,
it's really fun
um,
though.
but 3 lift hills. That's kind of unique,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, just a fun whip you around, nice time. One of my favorites at Magic Kingdom, Big Thunder. What do you think?
Oh, I love Big Thunder Mountain. Whenever we leave the station, I have to immediately cover my ears though, because that first tunnel gets really loud with the chain lift
Mm-hmm.
and everything in there. One of my favorite things to do at the Magic Kingdom is to go over to Tom Sawyer's Island and sit in the rocking chairs across from Big Thunder Mountain and wave to the train going by. Like I
If you
remember one day I did that for just an hour. I went to the kingdom for an hour just to wave at people on Thunder Mountain.
if you want to be a real psychopath, you go in the fort. I think it's called like Fort Langhorne or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's little rifles that are mounted up in little windows of the fort, and you can pretend like you're shooting the people on the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
I've never done that.
Yeah. I don't
Kinda
know why
wanna do
they
that
have
now.
that, but all right. What's your number 6,
Amazing.
boy?
So my number 6, Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Um, I don't think anything is more hype on a roller coaster than Steven Tyler counting down 5, 4. Like his countdown before the launch is just immaculate, and then the Aerosmith music to complement it is very good. These last 2 rides that I put were, the onboard music was part of it. So it makes me want to give an honorable mention to Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket over at Universal. Um, y'all are going to be like, wow, Tommy. So I've actually ranked all 80 plus roller coasters I've been on, and I put that one at like number 26 or something. But there's so for those who haven't been on Rip Ride Rocket, you can choose your song, and they have a select menu. And they actually have a secret menu as well, where you press and hold the logo and a keypad comes up. And if you know the code, there's like a whole list of songs you can find online. And one of them is the Muppet Rainbow Connection. Rip Ride Rocket at night with the Muppet Rainbow Connection is like one of the best experiences I've ever had. Sorry, I had to give that a shout out because of Rock and Roller Coaster and Incredible Hulk. But yeah.
All right. Tristan's number 5.
Top 5.
Rock and Roller Coaster.
Ooh,
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Yep. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Love that. Love the Aerosmith. My favorite song to get is probably Sweet Emotion.
Yeah.
Of course, you can't choose, but when I get Sweet Emotion, I love it. However, now here's my tip, because I always want to pose for the photo right as you launch. If you want it to be more thrilling, don't pose for the photo because you're like distracting yourself.
Yeah.
That's something I've noticed. So yeah, you're going to look stupid in your picture, but just sit back and relax and enjoy the launch. It's going to feel a lot more thrilling, in my opinion.
I got to admit, that's a bad habit that I have on a lot of rides that I do. Especially on the one that I'm about to, my next one, I feel like I always do a dumb pose for the photo. Then I'm like, then I have to go back to screaming at myself.
What is it?
All right, my number into my top 5, Expedition Everest at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Just really awesome, well-themed ride. Like they built an entire freaking mountain. The backward section, super intense. Very fun ride. I think I don't remember if I talked about it on the show or not, but there was a day I went like in September of 2020 when the crowds were still very light, and I rode it 15 times in a row. And that was a very fun day. Did I talk about that on the show?
I think you did. You at least told me about it, and I think you're stupid.
Yeah, I've definitely told you about that. I might have talked about it on the other podcast too, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, so fun day. That ride holds a special place in my heart. Love Animal Kingdom. Love the ride. It's down for refurb till April, so hope to see that back up with the Yeti. I mean, the Yeti's not coming back, but
no.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, my number 4 is Space Mountain.
Space Mountain.
Specifically the Magic Kingdom. I haven't been on Disneyland's because it was under refurb when I was there. But yeah, I love Space Mountain. It's another classic. I still don't know what's going to happen. I've got perfect vision, to be honest, and I cannot see. Like there are points where you do a sudden dip and it surprises me every single time. So I love Space Mountain.
The thing that's crazy about Space Mountain to me is that its top speed is like 28 miles an hour, I think.
Yeah.
And it feels so much more intense than a roller coaster that's going that fast. I do love Space Mountain, but it's also hit or miss for me. Because like I've been on it quite a bit living down here. And, half the times I have a really awesome ride. Half the time it hurts me in certain ways.
Yeah, I get it.
But when I don't get a painful ride, Love that. I definitely like the Disneyland version better. That one's a lot more smooth. And also, when I went on it, they had a hyperspace mountain overlay. And like, I'm not even really a Star Wars person, but it was like really cool how the Lift Hill Tunnel had like the hyperspace, and it was playing Star Wars music and sound throughout the ride with lasers and stuff. Super cool.
Mm.
My number four is Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure at Universal's Islands of Adventure. Um, awesome ride. Incredibly well themed. So many elements packed into there. 7 launches, and a backwards section, and just other stuff I don't want to say. It's probably the best. Is the best themed coaster? Maybe it's really up there.
It could
Like
be.
it's awesome. Like it's the most expensive coaster in the world. It used to be Expedition Everest, and then ironically my next one is the one that beat it. It did replace the dueling dragons that were very beloved. I unfortunately never got to ride those, sad. But Hagrid's, I think, is a solid replacement. It's super cool ride. um, Obviously it's probably better in the motorbike seat, but even if you're in the sidecar, it's still an enjoyable ride.
Mhm. Well,
Like that's an interesting thing about it. Like they have the motorbike and the sidecar feature.
yeah.
Um, but it's actually like it actually does kind of serve a practical purpose in a way that certain riders that are bigger that aren't able to go on the bike can still sit in the sidecar, because I did go with somebody that wasn't able to sit in the motorbike because of their size. So, you know, I guess it serves that kind of purpose. It, lets more people get on it.
It's always good.
But anyways, cool ride.
Tristan's number 3, Hagrid's.
Hagrid's. No, I felt it coming.
Yep. Yep, there it is. I agree. Motorbike is the best. My favorite part of it actually is not any of the spoiler stuff, so don't worry.
Yeah.
It's just when you're kind of going like this, kind of zigzagging over the water.
Mhm.
I just think that's a really
Yeah.
cool feeling.
Yeah, no,
going over
that's
the water.
honestly a really cool part of like that's a really cool part of the ride. Like just zooming, like you really feel like you're in the Forbidden Forest, just zooming along, and like it's such a cool ride.
Yeah.
Can't get over it.
Oh, love it. All right.
All right. Oh yeah, we're in our top 3 now.
We are.
Man, honestly, I have a hard time with my top 3. Like these are like easily my top 3. And the one that I have at number 3, I kind of want to make number 1, but I do have a Florida bias with it. But I am going to keep it as my number 3, Jurassic World Velocicoaster at Islands of Adventure. This ride does everything right. Like, there's no roller coaster that has that much thrill with that well theming, that's that smooth with the perfect locker system. That barrel roll at the end, the Mosasaurus roll over the water, is probably the best inversion on any roller coaster. Layout is flawless. This ride doesn't miss. It doesn't miss at all. And the fact that it has inversions with just a lap bar and no over the shoulder restraints makes it a lot more freeing. Like that 100-foot long stall is awesome. And then like just I don't mind waiting over an hour for this ride because the queue is awesome. Like the outdoor queue, just watching the train go by you, and then the indoor queue is really cool. And then the pre-show video with Chris Pratt's character, Owen Grady, and is really fun. It doesn't miss. Velocicoaster, easily the best one in Florida. I'm wondering. My biggest curiosity is Iron Gwazi going to be better than it or not? Which I don't know if it will be, but
we'll see.
Anyway, yeah, we'll find out.
We're in my top 2 now, and both of them have already been listed. So,
okay.
now I'm interested to see what your top 2 are. But my number 2 is Expedition Everest. Theming, amazing. Thrills, amazing. Like you said, the backwards portion is that still surprises me every time. Every time I ride, I'm like, oh wow, this is. I feel funny.
It's like it takes a lot, like to be able to, because I like to hold my hands up as long as I can, and that part of Everest, it took me a while for me to be able to do that, and like I mean a while.
Yeah, no, it's
like, it took a lot of rides to get comfortable with that.
I love that ride. I love the theming of everything. The queue,
Yeah, the queue is really cool. Yeah,
Everything.
underrated queue.
Yeah, underrated queue. Absolutely. Joe Rody does not mess around.
No.
The listeners will know him as Earring
Yeah.
Boy, the Imagineer
Yep.
with all the earrings. But man, no, love that ride. All right, so that's my number 2. What's yours, buddy?
My number 2 is Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point.
I thought that
Steel
was going to be
Vengeance
your
is
number 1.
stupid.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it so
huh.
when I wrote it for the first time, it was my number 1 after I wrote it immediately. Like it's dumb. Like it has over a mile of track, a 205-foot vertical drop, the most airtime of any roller coaster in the world, like at almost 30 seconds. Some of the inversion, like it has this one inversion that's like a barrel roll going downhill that I don't even know what it's actually called. It's like a lot of enthusiasts have it as their number 1 for great reason. Um, I'll kind of get into why I have it as my number 2 when I talk about my number 1.
See, I
Yeah,
feel so stupid now
yeah.
thinking that was going to be your number 1 because you haven't mentioned Goofy's Barnstormer yet.
Oh yeah,
And it has to be that. But
yeah.
all right, so here we go. Here's Tristy's number 1, the Velocicoaster.
Velocicoaster. Yep,
You said it all, boy. It
yeah.
is just the most recent time I wrote it in
Mm-hmm.
that barrel roll, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I put my hands up. It's scary. Like
Yeah.
I was actually, that's probably
It
the most frightened I've been on a roller coaster in a long
no,
time.
like you think you're gonna get thrown in the water every time.
Yeah.
And then for me, I really love riding that ride in the back row. I'm a back row rider for like I prefer the back row for most coasters I go on. Um, like I like front row if it's a rougher coaster, but the back row is just so much fun. And on Velocicoaster, going over that top hat, I really feel like it's gonna fling me out. One of these days, it's gonna fling me out like through the lap bar. Like if I get skinny enough, I don't know. Um,
Oh, you'd
but
love to die that way, wouldn't you?
I would. Like, I would be terrified, but I'd kind of feel at peace,
Uh-huh.
Like,
All
hopefully I
right.
would die though, because if I didn't die, I'd probably have like
Oh,
be paralyzed and alive, and that would suck.
yeah, that'd be
Anyway,
terrible. You
um,
definitely want to get killed on that.
yeah.
All
So,
right. Drum roll.
so my number 1 is Millennium Force at Cedar Point. Um, So Millennium Force was actually an unfortunate thing about my Cedar Point trip. I went for 2 days. Top Thrill Dragster was down for both days, and Millennium Force was also down just for the first day. And then it was down for like the first half of my second day. And after like we were like kind of tired out halfway through the day, so we went back to the hotel to rest. And I looked like on my phone to see if it opened back up. I'm like, okay, we have to go back to finally go on it. And this ride has like a certain magic for it. So for those that don't know, it was the world's first giga coaster, the first roller coaster ever to be 300 feet tall as a full circuit ride too. Over 6,000 feet in length, 90 something miles per hour. It has really iconic station music too. It's like kind of really hype. Um, this ride just has like a certain magic to it. Like I know compared to this and Steel Vengeance, they both have like a good view of Lake Erie going up their chain lifts, but Millennium Forces is over 100 feet higher. Um, I feel like an argument could be made that Steel Vengeance might have a better layout, but Millennium Force just had like a certain magic that Steel Vengeance didn't have. A part of that was Steel Vengeance's dispatching wasn't that great, and getting onto the ride felt kind of tedious, because they were like, and credit to the employees at Cedar Point for doing their jobs well, but Steel Vengeance had the strictest like item policy. Like you couldn't have a single thing in your pocket, and they were very strict about that. Like even my like tiny plastic like hand sanitizer bottle that wasn't going to leave my pocket, or like chapstick, they're like, nope, put it in your locker. And like they had like kind of a double-sided locker system like Velocicoaster, but it wasn't as great in my opinion. um and then you couldn't have like any big bags in the queue, like that you had to buy a locker if you had a bag with you. So like that part of it, like I mean, if you know that going into it, but me and my girlfriend didn't quite know that. So that was just like a minor thing. Where Millennium Force, like it felt kind of tedious to get on the Steel Vengeance. Like even with Fastlane Plus, it took us a half an hour to get on, which it wasn't a big deal because it's Steel Vengeance. It's an incredible ride. But like I said, Millennium Force, it came out in the year 2000. Like the fact that it's as old as it is and it holds up as well, I think that also did it for me. That it's over 20 years old and it's still super smooth at how big it is. So, very special ride, I think. So,
Mhm.
Millennium Force, my number one.
Wow.
Yeah,
And there you have it, folks.
yeah, Velocicoaster. Like, because I've been on Velocicoaster so many times and all the things I said about it, I wanted to make it number one. But like something about my first ride on Millennium Force was like it just hit. You know what I mean?
Mm, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
it
No,
just hit something different.
it's different. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it, folks. All
yeah.
right. Now
That was
we've
our
got
top 10.
top 10. One more segment for this episode, and that's my segment, Theme Park Tristery.
Cool.
Now, this one is about my favorite Disney Imagineer, Bob Gurr.
Ooh, Bob Gurr.
Bob Gurr just turned
Oh
90
yeah.
years old. He's still alive. So I'm going to talk about his vehicles because that was his specialty, was designing vehicles. He did ride systems too a little bit, but mostly the vehicles on the ride system. So opening day Disneyland, this guy designed all the cars for Autopia. I could talk forever on just how that whole thing worked. He had never really designed the inner workings of a car before. He just designed, well, the design of a car, what it looks like from the outside. But Walt was like, nope, you're doing the whole thing. So he did Autopia for opening day, and then all the Main Street vehicles that were there on opening day as well, which is the Fire Wagon for the first 5 years, the horse-drawn Surrey for the first, oh gosh, I don't know, almost 20 years, horse-drawn streetcar from 1955 till present day. A lot of these things are still operating there from opening day. And then you have all the work he did for the 64-65 New York World's Fair, where the Disney history buffs know that 4 of our classic attractions came from the New York World's Fair. So he worked on the Ford's Magic Skyway, which is the predecessor to the People Mover, which in turn inspired the Omnimover ride system used in Disneyland's Adventure Through Inner Space until 1985, the Haunted Mansion, and If You Had Wings, which is an old attraction at Magic Kingdom, Spaceship Earth, World of Motion, Delta Dream Flight, all the rides that have the
Yeah.
Omnimover system.
Yeah.
He helped design that. Some other attractions that he worked on were the other Main Street vehicles that were added later, the red and yellow jitneys, the omnibuses, the fire engine. Fun fact about the fire engine, the last photo of Walt ever taken in Disneyland is him sitting on the fire station, or on the fire engine.
Oh, wow.
The
Did not know that.
Viewliner, which was like a futuristic train that opened in 1957, the monorail, the Matterhorn bobsleds, the submarine voyage, the flying saucers, the Haunted Mansion, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea here in Walt Disney World. He also designed Walt Disney World's Mark IV monorail that ran from 1971 to 1989. So that's just the scratching the surface of everything that this Imagineer did. He ended up working for Disney from 1955 to 1989, just doing all sorts of crazy work. He opened Disneyland, which is just crazy to think that there's someone around who did that. So there you go, folks.
Oh, thank you for that theme park history, Tristan. Do appreciate that. And I guess that concludes this episode of Please Remain Seated, right?
It does. That's it.
It does. Wow. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys have any theme park news or topics that you would like us to discuss, please message us, comment on our social media, whatever, and we will do that. Tristan, got anything else to sign us out?
Hey, check out our comedy podcast. It is Not Safe for Work, NSFW. So if you're listening to this around the dinner table with your family, do not listen to our Two Useless Organisms comedy podcast because it is not safe for work.
Yeah, if this is a cruise ship, this is the 8 p.m. family-friendly show, and Two Useless Organism is the midnight adults-only show. So, yeah.
And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.